gloves. I only have one pair of these. I have no test material, and there's no going back once we start. So hopefully this goes well. So these are Ferrix scrapper gloves, construction gloves of the type, or at least that's what I'm going to ask them to be. These are actually sparring gloves for medieval sword fighting. The pads are to stop the ouchies, and but they're a really close match to what I need them to be. And they just need, you know, a good paint job and a grime. Now, I've painted a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things, and I would normally just spray paint it. But I have never painted leather. I have never painted with the paints that I'm going to use. And I think that it may work out okay because I did 10 seconds of Googling and then bought whatever products they told me to buy. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. But I think it'll be good. I mean, if it goes wrong, it'll just be free weathering, and how can you worry about that? All right, so I made 2 mock-ups just to go over. We'll get this out of the way. So there's some different variations of these style of gloves. There's some close-ups of the gloves, some shots of some of the hero props. There's a hero prop here. But when we get to my mock-ups, I just laid these out in Photoshop real quick just so I could get an idea of the colors that I wanted to match my costume. And there's 2 different options here. So we have a dark base and a light base, both pretty much the exact same colors. Did play with some other colors, but this is the layout that I wanted to go with. And it's not about which one I like more necessarily. It's about which one's going to work better and look good and how it's going to age. So the light base is going to probably wear better, and once we start really aging it and putting in the grime and the palm and the dirt starts to settle into the seams, the light base is going to show wear better as the grime settles into all the little creases and crevices. You'll get more contrast without having to force it. With a dark base, you can still weather it, but you're probably going to have to work harder to make it read as well. You'll have to get more dirt into it, and I think over time, as it starts to just wear naturally from wearing the costume, that this one's going to wear better. There's also another practical reason. By going with the lighter color as the base, I think it's going to fight me a lot less in the long run, because as the paints layer on top of each other, I think it'll be easier to cover the light with a dark color than it will be the dark with the light, and it'll save me some masking. Just, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think that it'll, in the long run, be easier. Inspection. Well, from my limited knowledge, the leather is shiny, which means it's sealed, which means it has a finish on it, which means it will not like any finish we try to put on it. So that means Scotch-Brite. It's one of those times when you just feel like you're doing something wrong, because you kind of are. But okay, well, after, you know, a few minutes with the Scotch-Brite, we're going to go with something a little more abrasive. It's just, I don't want to spend the rest of my week down here just prepping before I even make any progress. So. Okay, well, I think we got them both pretty good. Hopefully that'll help keep the paint stuck to them. We're gonna use some of this stuff here. I'm gonna use that thing there. that I've used like twice for about 20 minutes. So we'll see, you know, I don't know, it might work out. So supposedly some of this, some of that, some of the other thing. So put a little of this in there. This is supposedly going to keep the paint flexible somehow. I don't really know. Makes it stay soft or something. I don't know. Soft and supple, like Corinthian leather. I think we're going to try this color first. Let's see where we're at here. All right, here, this is the moment of truth. We're gonna lay down a little bit of color and see what happens. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but we will see. All right, so I don't know why I bothered even putting this cardboard out, because it didn't really help. Everywhere I spilled was not on the cardboard, but got a pretty good coat. Gonna let it dry for a little bit before I try to put the red on. Originally I was gonna cover the whole thing in the light color, but this is probably gonna work out better because it'll mute the red without having to put as heavy of a coat on. What I'm concerned about is that I was gonna mask this, but I don't know if this will hold up under masking and not just tear the brown off. And this light tan color, I barely had enough. There's a little bit left for touch-ups afterwards, but I'll have to get more if I have to put another coat on. But we'll let this dry for a minute and we'll check out in a second.
You're going back, John Spartan. Oh yes, you're.
These, let them dry. They came out so much better than I expected. The look on them, like, even where the coverage is weird, just adds to it. They just look great. Like, you know, they look like they've been kicked around already, and the coverage doesn't necessarily look like they were painted. It looks like it's wearing away. So really happy about it. Also, this paint, I mean, it's not tacky, it's not gummy, but yet it is flexible. So that acrylic flexible medium stuff is really good. I'm glad I went this way and didn't spray paint it, because what I was worried about with spray paint is it being sticky forever. Like, sometimes spray paint just doesn't cure if it's not on the right, trust me, I know, it just gets weird. So these are great. So let's mix up some red and put it on there. Go. All right, well, this first pass of color, well, I guess final pass of color, because I'm not going to really add much more color to it. Might touch up a couple of these panels, but for the most part, it looks so good. I actually found some masking tape, stopped using the gaff tape, so less expensive. There's a little bit of overspray in a couple spots. Eventually I'll just take a actual brush with the same tan paint, go back and retouch all those little spots, but man, can't be happier. Once I put a black wash on it, it's gonna look fantastic. And I mean, it already looks fantastic. I could just roll with this, but still some finishing touches, still another glove to do. Gonna mix a second batch of paint. Hopefully I can make it match, because I'm not good at that. And then we'll go from there. God damn. Looks like I actually was able to mix the same color twice. That's impressive, because I am never good at mixing colors, so that's pretty damn good. All right, we're gonna go with that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, they come out looking already like rough and tumble, looking good. I'm gonna go through with a paintbrush and just take that tan color and fix any of the overspray spots. And then there's a finish I gotta apply over the top of it. Once that finish is on there, let that dry, and then we'll put black wash on it. But it's not gonna really need a lot. Like, look how good that looks. Just has a worn leather look already. It's just gonna age so nice. It looks so good. All right, I'll fix a little touch up here and there, and then we'll go from there. All right, these came out amazing. There's just a couple of things left to do. So we're gonna airbrush this stuff on. Supposedly it will seal it and help keep it from cracking and peeling off of the leather. I don't know, I've never used it. We'll see if it works. Okay, these came out so good, so happy with them. And I was gonna black wash them, but I think I'm gonna live with them for a little bit, because I want to see how it looks with the whole costume. And when I do the final weathering pass on the whole costume, that's when I'll hit these, because it already has enough patina. These already look lived in. They look great. One thing I need to add to them, that's the last thing, is I'm gonna put some little leather straps on the bottom of the hand here, so that they have a loop to hang from my belt when I'm not wearing them, because these are big costume gloves, and if you take them off during the costume party, you want to have a place to put them. You don't want them just holding on to them while you're trying to do whatever it is that you're doing. So the last thing we're going to do is put in a little rivet at the bottom of the glove here. That like that, there like that, and then need a hammer. There we go. Put this one on there, and then put that right like that. There you go. All right. And there you go. A fully functional set of Ferrix scrapper work gloves ready for duty. They came out so good. They look so great. I'm very, very happy. Loops make nice little pulls, put them on, and make a nice place for them to hang off my belt. They're very functional. They look very good. They came out so much better than I had hoped. I mean, actually, I hope they came out good, but these came out amazing. And I'll do a weathering pass on them when I do a weathering pass on the full costume all at once. That way all the dirt and grime matches each other and tells a story about where this guy's been and what he's been doing. But for now, these gloves came out amazing, and I'm really happy, and come back next time when we finish something unfinished. This is a good hammer.